Hey everybody, my name's Sean, and in this video we're going to talk about the Kanger TopTank model. This actually is a improved model over the original, which was actually just called the Kanger SubTank. With this one, you pretty much just have the addition of the TopTank. So what's good about this particular one, this is the TopTank that I'm talking about here, is it's been around for a while, and we know that it's a really good unit. It's a great workhorse as far as that goes. Now, it comes in three different sizes. You have the Nano, you also have the Mini, and of course you have just the regular sub-tank that it's actually called. Major different sizes that you're looking at right there. I know videos don't always do it justice. Pretty much the Nano by far is the one that everybody goes to, and I'll just show you very quickly here how those differences are. If you look at this on, let's say, your standard, a nice 30-watt E-leaf there, as far as size-wise goes, everything's really nice. It works very, very well. Going into your Mini, now you're kind of pushing it, but you can still do it. And the Mini there, as you can see, getting a little bit big. Now we'll get to the big boy. Let's put on the big boy. And with the big boy here, I mean, that's just huge, right? So like I said, the only difference between these three different models that you're looking at is your liquid on board. That's it. So from here on in, I've kind of identified these three guys that you're looking at right here. So there's your three different sizes, all of them side by side so that you literally actually get to see them. Major differences as far as that goes. Now the Nano amazingly takes 3.2 milliliter of liquid, which is great. That is a really nice size. It's kind of a industry standard of what you're seeing with a lot of the different units that it can actually take there. Why this is one that I definitely always like to showcase is this unit right here. It does, of course, do sub-ohm. That's a different type of a resistance of your coil. And then it goes up from there. On this particular one, you could do the 0.5, which is kind of your classic sub-ohm that you're looking at. And then you can go with a 1.2 coil. That's going to be a lot lighter. We're not in the sub-ohm range anymore. Or, of course, you can go into 1.5. By the way, because this is a clear miser tank video, I'm not going to go real deep into the resistances and the things of that nature. If you want, please visit our website. We have the 5 keys of vaping. And then, of course, we do talk about some of this sub-ohm that I'm talking about and all of this, which is very important. But for right now, I'm just talking about this specific tank that we're looking at. On this guy right here, like I said, you have the 0.5, you have the 1.2, you have the 1.5. What's nice with that is you're not stuck with one specific unit. Of course, you have a lot of tanks to choose from. I mean, tons of tanks to choose from these days. But with this one right here, it just works very, very well. And not only that, even in the sub-ohm where you're at 0.5, it doesn't seem to waste a lot of liquid. You have some of these other much larger models out there that really are just liquid hogs. They're just going to keep on using that liquid that you keep on seeing there. So pros, I always like to talk about the pros and the cons. Pros, as far as like that middle of the road, sub-ohm and doing everything else, great little unit that you're looking at right there. Having those different coils, and those coils are actually interchangeable throughout this series and a lot of the other Kanger Tech models. That was a very smart thing Kanger did when they kind of rolled out their sub-tank series, is they made sure that their coils kind of fit for everything. I'm actually going to get into another part of, like I said, that this is a newer design where there's a little bit of an issue, but we'll get back to that in a second. Let's talk about this unit here. Your major change was previously you had to flip it upside down, unscrew it, and then you'd put the liquid in there. Now you still have to flip it upside down to get to the coil, and at the end here I'm going to go through all of that, how you'd actually properly fill one of these units and prime your coil so that you do know. But with this guy right here, now it has a top fill design. It's very easy to do. And all you do is you unscrew it right here, and then you fill your liquid up there. So the top fill, a lot of people really like. It's kind of one of those things where it's about time where we actually had that top fill design. Also, it does have airflow control. It's very easy to use. Your airflow control is actually at the base right here, and you just kind of turn it. And as you turn it, you're going to get your different pulls as far as that goes. I'm not going to go into that in this video. If you want to know more about that, that's one of those things where you can check out our website. We'll tell you a little bit more about that as far as it goes. But this is, of course, that Nano that we're looking at. really nice kind of middle of the road workhorse. If you just want something that works, it's not finicky, you don't have leaking issues, a lot of the other stuff, this is a great go-to clearomizer tank, as they're now kind of called. This is more actually of a tank, as it is, of course, called the TopTank. But like I said, you do have those different coils, so you're not restricted only to one. So that's a very big deal as far as that goes. Now with this unit here, of course, we're just going to simply go into how you fill it, and of course priming your coil, which is also very, very easy. Like I said, filling is pretty easy, but on this one here, as it's brand new and out of the box, you want to prime your coil. Priming your coil is the most important thing that you can do. You only do it when it's a brand new coil. In this case, because it's a new clearomizer, there's a new coil that is actually in there. Now, on this one right here, we're going to turn it upside down. We're going to get that coil out of there real quick, that coil head, your heating element. And I'm just going to unscrew this here. And that is going to, of course, reveal my coil head. Coil head now just unscrews counterclockwise. And now we have that. And there's your coil head. Now on this one here, it's pretty easy where you're going to see one end is the base, and then the other end has the opening. And this opening area here, this is where you're going to want to put about 4 or 5 drops of liquid. And all you simply do is you just take a bottle of e-liquid, and you just simply put about 4 or 5 drops in there. Reason for that is you have cotton in here. And this is actually on this model, it's organic cotton. And you want to make sure that this will absorb liquid. If you simply just fill this tank up with liquid, put this in here and vape, you're going to get this burnt, harsh taste because you're burning the cotton. You haven't let it absorb that liquid. And once you fire it, you're firing it. And if it doesn't have liquid, just kind of like no oil in your engine, the same type of a thing's going to happen. So you definitely want to make sure that you put it those 4 or 5 drops in there. Your next step, obviously, after that is you put this coil back onto here, and then you put this guy back on. And in this case, because it's a top fill, now what we're going to do is we are going to flip it upside down. We're going to open this up. And now we're going to put the liquid in there. Now on this, you don't want to put the liquid in the middle hole. If you put it in the middle hole, well, you're just going to have a ton of e-liquid that's stuck in your air shaft here. You want to go around the sides. And what you just do is you fill it all the way on up to the top. Put this back on there, and you're good to go. So very simple unit, the way it works. Now, the last thing I wanted to mention, I was kind of talking in the very beginning there, is the coil differences, and one of the, what we feel is an issue with this newer design. When they did roll out the TopTank, where this comes out, this is also where they're rolling out what's called the SSOCC coil. I know, that's right, SSOCC coil. The original was OCC coil, and it is a square coil. That is this coil right here. This is the very first one that was used. Now what comes into these newer models is a SSOCC, and how you can kind of tell the difference right off the bat is one of them is going to be square and one of them is going to be circle. Countless times we've heard a lot of issues as far as leaking goes with this particular guy that you have. Now fortunately, this is cross-compatible with the newer style. So our advice is stick with the OCC. Just the sometimes when you reinvent something, it's just not as good. This particular coil is a workhorse. It works a very, very long time. Have not seen anybody with as far as issues go with that one. So stick with the square guy, and with the circle guy, you may get a little bit of leaking. You may get something like that. The fortunate thing is when the time comes to replace your coil, your new coil head, you just go on to your OCC coil, and that just kind of tells you a little bit about the differences between those two coils. And the one portion of the design change where you had the top fill, that's great. SSOCC coil, not so much, but of course that's also personal preference, but that's coming from me, where I just feel that OCC coil works much better. But simply put, that is your Kanger TopTank, the Nano, the Mini, or of course the regular size that you have. If you'd like to actually see what's actually in the box, I'll show you that at the very ending here. And of course you had the clearomizer, the tank that was in there. You have another coil, so 2 coils actually come with it, and you have a replacement glass. The glass is replaceable on that, so that is is very nice. That is, of course, the TopTank Nano, everybody. Before I forget, everybody, I got so busy talking about the OCC coil versus the SOCC coil. I do want to mention that there are specifically two different coils that do come with each one of these tank kits that you see right here, and there's a major difference between the two. You have a 0.5 coil, that's that sub-ohm coil that you have in there, and then you also have a 1.2 ohm coil. Those are major differences. One of them is a sub-ohm. It's going to be a lot more powerful. You want to watch what your milligram level is on your nicotine. And then at 1.2 is more of that kind of classic mouth to lung classic vape. All coils these days pretty much will tell you right on there. I doubt you can see this on the video, but you have to look. It's a very small writing. You might want to use a magnifying glass depending on how good your eyes are or if you got good light there. But it will tell you those differences. So please be aware of that this unit that you do see right here, it's going to have that 0.5 right out of the box that allows you to do that sub-ohm that I'm talking about. And then, of course, you have the 1.2 that is going to be on the side that you'll replace, and you can kind of change them and go back and forth and use them as you see fit. So just wanted to tell you about that. That one was actually kind of an important one. I got so caught up of the square coil versus the round coil that we have right there. So that's it for right now. And like I said, that is the Kanger Nano or the Kanger Mini or, of course, the regular Kanger, and it is the TopTank series. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on another video soon.